Hi, I'm Keith McEvoy, CEO of Success at Works and founder of SuperCharge Academy. So today we're going to talk about your mind, this thing up here and how it works. And basically, I'm going to put a question to you, which is, are you actually using it properly? Are you using it the way you should be doing? Because if you're not, and most of us don't, your mind is actually using you. And that's the problem. Our mind, they're built, they're fantastic machines, but the problem is that they have to do something all the time. So they're always thinking, and they're always wondering what ifs, and they're always planning for future stuff, and they're always thinking about the past. And it's got so much stuff that it can do, and it's got so much more information in there that it will go and do something. So if you don't give it something to do, guess what? Your mind will go and figure out something to do. And sometimes, in fact often, you're not going to like what it is that your mind starts doing. And when you're feeling stressed and anxious and worried and concerned and frustrated, guess what that is? That's your mind, this thing up here, coming up with thoughts, dwelling on things that have happened and making them feel bigger and bigger because it's thinking more and more about it. So knowing that, and if you think about when your mind is working at its best, it's normally when you're in that zone, when you're actually working through something and it just happens, everything just works out, and that same task that you're doing. In fact, I had one there the other day. I was writing out actually this big script for a video. It's a product that I'm doing. Actually, you'll get to see it soon. And massive amount of work. It's probably about 20 hours working it. So I got about halfway through it on day one, so fantastic. And I was just in the zone, working through it, everything lined up. I had my notes, and I was writing through it, and things would just pop into my head exactly when I need them to be, and I could feel things working. The problem was, of course, that I had no sense of time. So by magic, my son just happened to appear and arrive in the door from school. If I had had to try and remember to collect him, my mind was just not in that zone. It was so focused. And at the end of the day, it was just a brilliant feeling that everything had worked, everything had been aligned. I'd kept working on stuff, and it just magically appeared, and I felt great, felt absolutely great. So next day, all looking forward to this. What a great day I had on Monday. So Tuesday, I was all set and waiting to go. And Tuesday, same task. It was the exact same task, right? Just had to continue on in it. And I was so looking forward to it. Tuesday, it just didn't happen for me. My mind was just in a different place. It was just thinking about different stuff. I could feel it was waiting for an email to come in or a message to arrive. It was waiting for anything, just to get off and do something different. It just did not want to be there with me trying to do that task, even though the day before it was. And it was just bizarre. I felt myself, there were so many times where I realized I was actually walking around doing something different, and I had no idea how I'd managed to suddenly get up from the task I'd said that I had to do, and I was doing this other thing. My mind had just brought me around, and it was just a complete shock and horror how different the 2 days were, from a very successful day on Monday to Tuesday. So Tuesday, about 11 o'clock, that was it. I'd had it. And what I did was I decided I had to actually go and take back control of my mind. And in fact, I've done a little video on how to take back control of your day. That's what I did. I reset my day. But if you're ever having a day like that, go and watch that video. That'll be really helpful for you. But what I wanted to talk to you about was why my mind was actually going somewhere different on that Tuesday. And it was around, I wasn't controlling what was going into my mind. I'd sort of let it just fly and do what it did. And I hadn't really thought about what was actually going on, because our mind is really complex. And you'll hear, there's basically, what we know from neuroscience now is we know there seems to be two things going on with our mind, and you're very familiar with both of them. The first one is we seem to have a conscious mind. So it's the one that, the voice that you hear in your head, the one that's talking to you the whole time, that's the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is quite short term, it's in the moment, it's analysing what's happening around you, and it's thinking through stuff. And then we have another secret part of the mind that we're only just beginning to figure out what it's doing, and that's the subconscious mind. And there are some amazing insights into subconscious mind coming up at the moment, particularly from some of the really weird stuff problem-solving experiments, they've done decision-making experiments, mood experiments, and what they're figuring out is the conscious mind and the subconscious mind seem to have an interaction. And you'll see actually one of the great experiments that they did actually about 2 years ago, which proved this, was they gave two sets of people a problem to solve. And the first set of people were told, listen, go the normal way, go solve the problem, read and figure it out. The second group were told, listen, read the problem, and then I want you to go and listen to music for the next 20 minutes, and then come back and solve the problem. And you know, simply by the way I've phrased the question, you know which group came out better, the subconscious mind group. They somehow had better insights, better quality of problem solving, because something was going on in the background. And what was happening was that when they managed to quieten the conscious mind, it allows the subconscious mind to go and process much more complex problems and to figure stuff out that just requires a lot of dedication without us even being aware of it. And you've experienced this. How many times have you had this problem and you've gone out on a walk, or you've been talking with someone, or out of the blue, bang, this aha moment comes out, and the answer is just there. That's your subconscious mind. While you haven't been aware of it, it's been in the background processing all of the information that you've given it and figuring out of all the stuff it knows, and it knows a lot of stuff. There's a lot of information in here in the brain. And what it's doing is it's trying to make the connections, and it's trying to figure out, okay, I've got all this information, all this knowledge. What connections can I make that potentially can give me the solution to what I'm looking for? That's your subconscious mind in the background working. So how do you get your brain, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind to be working optimally for you? Well, the first thing is so. So that's what I'm going to introduce you to. So actually, S is actually for so. You can tell I was really lazy on this one. Yeah. Oh, what'll I come up with? Oh, I know, so. And so is all around, if you want to use your brain, you've got to tell it what it is that you want it to solve. So if you've got a problem on your mind and your conscious mind is, just stop the conscious mind, put yourself to work, plant in your brain exactly the problem that it is that you want to solve, and then leave it alone, let it get on with it. So how do you do that? Well, so when I'm faced with a difficult decision or a difficult problem or just something I haven't a clue how to do, I'll recognize it. So I'll actually recognize and say, I don't know how to do this. Or maybe I've only got one solution that's not great and I could do it a few more potential options. So I'll actually spend 5 minutes and go, well, this is what I know about the problem. And this is me speaking to myself. It sounds really daft, or if you were here, you'd be going, oh, he's losing it. There's something wrong with him, he's loopy. But what I do is I just sow the seeds. I say, well, actually, this is what I know about the problem. And this is ideally the type of solution that I'd like. And the solution I'll normally phrase in terms of emotion. So I want to feel like this, or I want my client to feel like this. And I'm not sure how I get from where I am now with the inputs I have to this solution. But I'll just spend 5 minutes thinking about it and visualizing it. And then shut it off. But what's happening in the background is that the mind is whirling. It's now got a few ideas to work on. So you go away and you sow it. The second thing you need to do is just observe what's happening. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Observe your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is always whirling. It's always got that voice going on. And if your conscious mind is always whirling, you're not going to give your subconscious mind a chance to work on what's happening in the background. So you need to take a bit of time out from your conscious mind, slow it down. The things that work brilliantly, yeah, you know them, meditation, mindfulness. If you're into those type of things, that's what you're doing. You're calming your mind down, you're recognizing what's coming in and coming out, and you're not fighting it. You're saying, oh yeah, here's a thought that's come in. What's that thought? Oh yeah, grand. What else is that? Oh yeah, that's fine as well. You're observing what's coming in and out and just being one with it. That has an amazing effect on you. It allows you to stop fighting thoughts and just accept them and be inquisitive. Oh, I wonder where that came from. Oh, that's nice to know, mind. Thank you for that. Now, let's get on to the next one. It just calms you down and it stops the chatter, the high-speed chatter, and puts it down to a nice just normal feel. That's what you get from observing. And the other thing that you get from observing is listen to, I suppose, how positive or how negative your mind is being. If your mind is filling you with fears and negativity and worry and doubt, well, you need to take action. But often your mind is whirling away in the background, filling you with this, and you don't even know it's doing it. You just have a feeling in you. You have a worry, you have a doubt, you have an anxiousness. Often it's because the mind is whirling, telling us stuff, and we're just not aware of it. So take a few minutes just to listen to what is that chatter telling you. And if it is all about, I'm really frustrated, you have an opportunity. So if you're feeling really frustrated, guess what? You know how to turn frustration to excitement. Or if you don't, I've got a video on it. But they're the types of opportunities that you can latch on to. Once you know what's going on, you go, I'm frustrated with this. That's good. It means that I believe that I can actually go and do something about this, and I believe it can be better. That's exciting. Turn it around. You'll also, if you're hearing self-doubts and you're feeling frustrations, just figure out why you're feeling that. And once you observe it, take action on it. But unless you observe what your brain's doing, you're going to let your brain in the background, your conscious mind, continue to bring you down. So you want to stop that. So again, meditation, mindfulness, and just acknowledging and moving on. Very, very powerful techniques. And the last thing you want to do is weed. Okay? You don't want all of this stuff going on in your brain. You want the things that are going to help you in life. And if you just let your brain do whatever it wants to and let your subconscious mind just do whatever it is that you want to do, well, guess what? It's like having a garden and you just leave it grow, right? But you're expecting a nice fine lawn out of it. That's not going to happen, right? You have got to put the work in to get your lawn. And that means you've got to weed. You've got to decide, when everything comes up, you've got to decide, well, hang on a second, I don't want that type of plant, or I don't want that nettle, or I don't want that thistle in my garden. I'm going to go and take that thistle out. And you go out and you take it out. And you take it out before you let it spread seeds everywhere. So as soon as you see it, the sooner you go and you take that out, the better it is for the lawn you're trying to grow. But that's up to you. You have to do it. You've got to weed. And how does that work in your mind? You've got to, as soon as you realize that you're thinking something that's not good, you've got to realize that, hang on a second, what I'm doing is I'm doubting myself, right? So let's take that. I'm doubting myself. I believe that, or my mind is trying to tell me that I'm not capable of doing something. So ask yourself, is that true? Have you ever not been capable of doing something? Right? Be honest with yourself. Question your mind. And I guarantee that all these self-doubts and anxiousness and stresses, that when you actually break it down and you ask yourself the honest questions, you'll come back going, do you know what? Yeah, maybe it mightn't work, but you know what? I'm not going to spend time there. I'm going to pull up this self-doubting weed now. I'm going to take it up now because it's getting in the way of everything else, that lawn that I'm trying to grow here. And the beauty about your lawn is that as your lawn starts growing and as you have fewer weeds, guess what happens? It gets more difficult for the weeds to grow in your lawn. The seed comes in and it sits on top of the grass. It can't get into the soil because your lawn is there. It's protecting you from these negative thoughts, the non-self-serving thoughts. So that's what you need to be doing. You need to be weeding and keeping them out of it. So what does this all do for you? Well, if you can actually sow in your mind, in your subconscious, what it is that you want to solve. So take, for example, that big weed. That big weed is I can't do something. Well, sow it that how am I going to do it? Turn it around. How am I going to do this? Tell your mind, I want to do this. Exactly this. I'm honest with you, mind. I have no idea how to do it, right? But you go and figure it out. All right, this is what I know. This is where I want to go. You go and figure it out. Tell me the next steps I want to do. So you sow it in there. You observe, and that is to try and get your conscious mind back to a normal, non-too chattery level so that your subconscious mind can go and whirl away in the background, and you keep the weeds down. And if you do that, guess what happens? You get more and more of these ahas. By magic, you figure out the answers. And it's not by magic at all. It's because you've done the hard work. You've told your brain what it is you want. You're using your mind properly. You've been given this amazing gift up here. You know it's amazing. Everyone else got the same amazing gift. So use it properly. Use it to actually solve the problems you need in life, to actually solve the things that you want, to get what it is, the magic answers. Use it. It's there to be used. And it's your duty to actually use it, because that's how you're going to achieve way more and really enjoy life.